Hello. Let's see if it's recording. This is my tradition. I feel like you would be used to it by now. Hello, hello, hello. Twitch changed it because it used to have the title of the video at the bottom. Now it's at the top, but it's not the biggest deal. What is a big deal is that we're here for another edition of Shooting the Breeze. I believe we're at episode 53, which is insane. A way longer edition than last week. Last week was just a very hellacious week for myself, and I had to film 3 videos back to back to back to play some catch up. But this time around, they should be a bit more spaced out, so that should be good for y'all. But the first of those videos that has to be made, obviously, is Shooting the Breeze, episode number 53. As I'll be providing my Week 15 NFL predictions. Talking about the return of Saturday night's main event happening this weekend, and then time permitted, might dwell into some NBA discussion. Majority of it being the NBA Cup. So let's just go ahead and go right to it. We're back on Fall Guys. It has been a couple of weeks since we have done that. I don't think I've ever wore the Undertaker skin. I probably have. I'm not going to guarantee that I've never wore it. I also don't know why. Anytime I've gotten on, or just in general, why they don't have the WWE skins in the shop. But it is what it is. Also, because this doesn't really matter to y'all, but this is what I was doing beforehand. I was going through some of my captures on my Xbox from games that I've played. Because Xbox, for some reason, they delete them after 30 days now. Or after a certain amount of time. It might not be 30 days, but for some reason, they get deleted. And I get a lot of fun at looking back at them. So I'm trying to dwell them down. And what I'm trying to get at is I check my YouTube Shorts, because it has been a while since I've uploaded one to YouTube Shorts, but I've looked at some of the things that I've captured, and they are YouTube Short good. So I want to hope that at some time this weekend that I oblige y'all with that. But to start off this video, we are going through Week 15 in the NFL season. I don't think there's any more bye weeks. I can't really... I'm going to guarantee I don't think there's any more bye weeks, but season is almost over, which has been insane. This kind of went by a little bit. I don't know. It depends on it, how you think of it. This is not the most exciting week of games. There's a couple big-time matchups, but one that I feel the masses are ready to see happen. Myself, not really that included, because... not the biggest fan of one of the teams, but you could I at least put it in the thumbnail of the video, so you could go ahead and know what I'm talking about. I keep rambling about stuff. It doesn't really matter. So, first game to talk about, the Thursday Night Football matchup of the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go with the Rams to win this game. Next matchup, Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. Now, the last that I looked, the Panthers were favored in this game, and the Panthers have done a lot better in the past couple weeks than they have all year, but it hasn't translated to wins, where the Cowboys, I guess you could say a little bit of the same thing for that, but the Cowboys have higher expectations and have a lot more money spent than the Panthers. I will just be honest. I don't know if I could. I just don't. I don't know if I think a lot of people want the Panthers to win. I wouldn't mind the Panthers winning. I just don't know if they are. That's the difficult part in this. Because at least the Cowboys are close. The Cowboys have been close in a lot of their most recent matches, which granted, the Panthers have as well. So I think I'm gonna ride the hype and go with the Panthers to win. But we shall see what happens, obviously. The next game, so I can't really look down because I don't want to. There's a bit of a, I'm not going to say it's a lag, but very small window to look through. I'm pretty sure it's Chiefs and Browns. Okay, I got to eliminate any damn ones. Chiefs and Browns. The Chiefs just win games. The Browns, you know, at least they've been fun to watch the past. Yeah, I can't even say that for last week. But go with the Chiefs. Very interesting matchup here. Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans. Two teams that had a lot of high hopes going into the season and have not lived up to it, but at least they're still in playoff discussion and contention. I don't even know where. The Dolphins are like they're in the hunt. The Texans are the top team in the AFC South, which is not really. Because the Jaguars and Titans are completely out. Who's the other team? This happens way too much. Who's the hell the other team? It's the Colts. I would imagine the Texans have the AFC South. I'm not going to say guarantee it's locked up, but it's kind of close. Miami Dolphins at Houston Texans. Who I think I'm going to... I don't know. This is a difficult... I think I'm going to give it to the Texans. They're coming off their bye week. I think they'll have a little bit more mojo in them. Granted, the Dolphins, again, like I said, have looked a lot better. I can't even really say that, but at least the Dolphins won last week, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to, like, spin that into a somewhat more bigger deal than it is. But I'm going with the Texans. This game doesn't benefit either side. New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Jets to win. It's one of those rare instances where I could actually pick them, but granted, it doesn't mean anything anymore because they're already eliminated from the playoffs. And I could have expected them to not make the playoffs, but for them to like only have 3 wins, I didn't expect that. I will say that. Like I wouldn't like guarantee them a playoff spot at the beginning of the year, but for them to be like as embarrassed and bamboozled as they were all year, it's a bit shameful, if I'm just being honest. I'm glad that I dove over that. Jaguars at least could say injuries held them down. Granted, just wasn't the best in general. So I'm going with the Jets to win. Next matchup, Washington Commanders at the New Orleans Saints. Going with the Commanders to win. Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. The Giants really struggle to win games, and the Ravens need to win games, so I'm going with the Ravens. Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Going with the Bengals to win. New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. I put a lot of faith into the freaking Cardinals last week, and they just got embarrassed. So I feel a little bit embarrassed with that. And I question, should I pick them again this week? I already am, so I'm going with the Cardinals. This should be an interesting matchup. Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos to win, even though I have complimented the Colts and think the Colts are a better team than other people think. But I just feel the Broncos are a little bit more polished and know what they're doing compared to the Colts. But I'm going with the Broncos to win. The Peyton Manning tribute game, or I guess I don't really want to say show. I didn't want to use the word tribute because Peyton Manning's still alive, but the Peyton Manning game. Let's put it that way. The big time matchup I was alluding to earlier, with 2 fan favorite teams, 2 teams that have been dominant all year. Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. I'm going with the Bills to win. I don't really have a rhyme or reason, but I hope that they win, so I'm going to predict them to win. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Los Angeles Chargers. This should be a very hard-hitting and a bit of a fun matchup. I can't say it's the most. It's just the Chargers are not the like exciting version of the Charles. I just call them the Charles. Shout out Charles Ponky. The Chargers that we've seen over the past couple of years, but at least they're like winning games, which in the Justin Herbert era, they've only made the playoffs once, and that went disastrous. They should have made it twice, but that was also disastrous. Where with this year, you can't really say it's that. It's been a bit of jolt of energy, and I guess that is a pun because, charge, jolt, you get the point. That being said, this might be the coin flip game of the week. I think I'm going to go with the Chargers to win, especially because they did beat the Falcons last week. Another somewhat coin flip game of the week, but I know who I'm going to predict, is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Two teams, they feel a little bit similar, but I feel the Eagles' offense is a lot better than the Steelers, but at least the Steelers' offense has picked it up the past number of weeks, since Russell Wilson's been there. Because Justin Fields did good. I'm not going to say he's bad or whatnot, but it just seems that the offense has been a lot more consistent the past month or so, especially with Russell Wilson in charge, I guess I should say. But I'm going to go with the Eagles because I've picked them a majority of times this season. But this should be another fun matchup. I also don't know why this game's going on at the same time as Bills and Lions, because this feels like one of these matchups should be in the early window and the other matchup should be in the late window. But, don't you dare fall off. I came very close. This is always the part that I mess up on, so I gotta concentrate. Because I never go... Because the bar... See, look. The bar's gonna go up. I need it... There we go. Boom. Alright. Now, they have these little flip things here. And then this bar. Oh, please. Okay, that was good. Sunday Night Football. There's a very fun commercial with Even Flow by Pearl Jam, which is one of my favorite songs. Shout out Sunday Night Football because they always have fun commercials. But the Green Bay Packers have a Sunday Night Football game, and it is against the Seattle Seahawks. And y'all know who I'm picking. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. So we have two more games to go through. Why we have two games on Monday, I don't really know. It hasn't really been discussed. I didn't even know that there are two games on Monday until I searched it. Or when I looked up the schedule. Because, I've been looking at the guide, and the only game that showed up was freaking Bears and Vikings. So when I went to the NFL schedule and it had two games, I was like, I had no clue of this. The first one to talk about, the Atlanta Falcons at the Las Vegas Raiders. If the Falcons don't win this game, their season is doomed. So... And I talked very highly of them last week just for them to disappoint and lose. So this is make or break for them. But I'm going with the Falcons to win. So the last game to go through is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Same thing. I gave the Bears a chance against the 49ers last week, and they did nothing. Absolutely little to nothing. I can't say absolutely nothing, but little to nothing in that game. So I'm going to go with the Vikings to win, which... there's ever a time for a draw, this would be one of those times I want that to happen. I'm going to write in quotations draw. And if it happens, I'm counting it. So we're going to concentrate. So we're going to concentrate here and try to win this. And then we'll talk about Saturday night's main event. Actually, we're going to talk about the NBA Cup stuff now because it's not really the most in-depth analysis of it because I have not been extremely tuned into the games that have happened this week, but we have three more, and it's kind of weird. This NBA schedule has been very weird this week because Monday night there's legitimately one game, which sucked. Maybe it's because they already knew one game was happening, and then the Knicks ended up making the Cup game. That sucks. Look, if I got thrown in the air and then eliminated, a little toss, that is very irritating. It's like you're in the Royal Rumble and you're standing on the apron and then you get pushed. No, I want thrown over the top rope and whatnot. But could have been. I can't even really say it could have been worse. NBA Cup stuff. The two games that we do know that are happening this weekend: Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks, and the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Houston Rockets. Now, I'm going to give the Hawks a lot of credit because they've been winning games when it really was not expected for them to win games. But I think I'm going to go with the Bucks to win this. Thunder Rockets should be a fun matchup because they've already had several fun matchups this year, and they're two of the top teams in the Western Conference, along with my Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, I had to throw them in there because the Grizzlies have been playing fantastic over the past couple of weeks, and you know the NBA Cup's not really our forte, so there's that. And it's also the Bucks are returning because last year they made the conference finals of the NBA Cup and then lost to the Pacers. So, you know, I would say they have the experience edge, but they also lost in their other encounter. And the Hawks are, I'm not going to say they're a exact, all right, I'm trying to watch my words here. The Hawks are not that too different of the Pacers that they lost to last year. So I think that's what I'm trying to get at. But I still expect the Bucks to win. Thunder and Rockets, it's kind of a toss-up, but I think the Thunder will win and then probably win the whole thing. So there's my prediction there. And then I do believe they get a banner out of this. But we got a lot of crazy stuff going on this weekend. Obviously, Week 15 NFL games Sunday. I don't think there's many college. I know Army and Navy is this weekend, and traditionally that is the only game. So I don't think college football, I have no clue what is left to expect. This whole playoffs has confused the hell out of me because I don't know what the hell's happening to the bowl games that usually happen. And, you know, college football is every Saturday in the living room, there's a college football game on. Whether I'm tuned in and watching, I don't know. I like college football. I don't love college football to the point where I know what's going on. But I'm trying to cover stuff that's going on this weekend. Because I do know there's a lot going on Saturday. NBA Cup stuff that I've been talking about. It's the last UFC of the year and for like a whole month, which is very rare for them to do. So I'm going to try my best to tune into that because I kind of in a UFC mood as of late. Okay. And then, obviously, I would say all right. That hurt. I don't even know if I got points off of that. The big thing Saturday. The main event Saturday. Saturday night's main event, which is weird because, obviously, I was not alive during the, original run of Saturday night's main event, but I was around for the second incarnation. Technically the third, because there was a short span where they were on Fox after they were done on NBC. So I don't know how you would technically grade that. And somebody posted the cards of what happened on that era Saturday night's main event. At the time, would have been fun and whatnot. Not the most jaw dropping, which, you know, jaw dropping stuff to happen. But this weekend, we got a lot of stuff going on. Collision, I don't know what all's happening, but I do know that Kazuchika Okada versus Beast Mortos is scheduled. Granted, Collision's supposed to be taped this weekend, so it kind of loses a little bit of luster, but I kind of wanted to throw a shout out there. And if there's anything else going on Saturday, I don't know. But Saturday's main event, Women's U.S. Title Tournament Finals, where we still do not know exactly who will be in that matchup because we need to get to SmackDown first and what the hell is going to happen on SmackDown. It will either consist of Bayley or Chelsea Green versus Michin or Tiffany Stratton. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I thought that Naomi should have been the first champion because she hasn't really done anything that important. Not historic since coming back to the company. Historic, that was a big stretch to use. But, no, I can't really say noteworthy, but it's just I would have expected more out of her because her short time in TNA, she did a lot, and I thought that some of that could have carried over, and it really hasn't. She had a big Mania match in Moment, granted, and involved 5 other people, but still, it was a good match in Moment. But I'm spending a little time talking about somebody that's not even involved. Whereas Bayley and Tiffany Stratton, like, we just got done watching a Bayley world title reign this year. Tiffany Stratton's missed Money in the Bank. No way I just did that. This level's a lot hard. I don't even... Okay, we got that. We need this last one. Okay, boom. Tiffany Stratton's missed Money in the Bank. I think they're going to go the route of Chelsea Green versus Michin. And then, also, I'm pretty sure that's the rivalry that's happened this year. It had the dumpster match and whatnot, so we're reliving that rivalry a little bit. And I wouldn't be that surprised if Chelsea Green wins this, because she's competed a lot on SmackDown and been involved a lot on WWE TV. I feel that Michin winning this would be a big moment as well. I don't have a problem with either being the first champion. If I had to make a pick, I'm going to go with Michin. Screw it. I don't really want it to be Tiffany Stratton because I want her to worry about the women's championship and breaking away from Nia Jax to win that championship. Another women's championship match on the show is the women's world title match with Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. And this has been a very talked about match in the Twitter community / rivalry, and I'm putting Rhea Ripley because it's just like this rivalry has been going on essentially since Mania, Liv and Rhea. Now, I genuinely apologize to Io because I kind of try to lump her into this, but it's just like Liv's been champion for over 200 days, and the title feels very secondary. And with Io winning, I don't think that'd be the case, as she had a great women's title run already this year. And kind of pick up where she left off. Granted, I know it's 2 different titles, but they're the world titles. Okay, that was the quickest this level has ever gone. I think a lot of people want to see Io win this, mainly so we can see something different with the women's world title. I just feel that we've been consistently seeing the same thing, that we're going to keep seeing the same thing. We just want change. What I'm trying to get at and what I was trying to involve, like, say, with the wrestling community is a lot of people are like, oh, Rhea needs to win the world title, Io needs to win the Rumble, and then we get Rhea versus Io at WrestleMania because that's the biggest match they can do for the Raw brand in the women's division because it's the 2 best women's stars. So that's 2 top women's stars. Where with Rhea and Liv, it's been happening numerous times over the past year or so. And I always get a chuckle out of it. And I have for like the last month because of like, people want Io to win the Rumble when she's already the damn #1 contender, you know? And so maybe Io can win it. I just don't know. I feel that if Rhea won the Rumble, people would be salty about it because she's won a Rumble recently. And I will say this now, and the Royal Rumble is about a month and a half away. We'll obviously talk a lot about the Rumble in the future. The good thing about both the men's and women's side, I couldn't tell you who the hell's going to win, if I'm just being honest. And it could be surprise entrants. It could be people that, you know, appear every week. I don't know who's going to win, and that's a good thing. So, if I had to pick a leading candidate, I probably would say Rhea right now. But again, a lot can change over that time period. It's also weird. Okay, I don't think he can jump on that. If I'm making prediction for this, I'm going to go with Io. Because Io. I just combined Io and Rhea. This has been an all-time sticker. I said dropping. Which none of that has really been the case of any of my discussion points in this. We'll see what happens. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre. I think that Drew is going to win this to redeem himself from losing from CM Punk and to build himself up since that matchup has taken place. Taken's not a word. World Heavyweight title match: Gunther versus Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. I don't really know why they felt the need to extend Finn and Priest, very much like I've been saying with Liv and Rhea, and why they had to have Finn interrupt at Survivor Series and then created this triple threat match. Regardless, I think my guy Gunther's going to win. Kind of wish that it was Gunther and Finn by itself, but I just feel if they did that Priest would have got involved anyways. So I've said this several times in the chat, it's very difficult to have a bad triple threat match, so we'll see what happens here, but I just think that Gunther's going to retain regardless. Then we have the big matchup, the potential return of the Winged Eagle WWE/F Championship to the Saturday Night's Main Event, the title that was synonymous with this event for several years. And again, that's a rumor, there's a little Twitter clip, but I think a lot of people are trying to, manifest it. But WWE title match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. I very much want Kevin Owens to win this. I think it would change up the WWE title picture a lot. Kevin Owens is one of my all-time favorites, and he's only had one world championship reign in WWE, and I kind of want to see another one take place, and I just think that he would do a lot of great things with it. And if he lost, I feel that we just would have been wasting a lot of time. That's kind of my thought process on that. Granted, Cody is an extremely big deal. He has talked about having the Winged Eagle title for the longest time. So with this Winged Eagle title being potentially involved, it kind of is okay, Cody's going to win. It's just it's just very, I'm not going to say John Cena-esque to where it's Cena wins, LOL. But it kind of, I think you just go straight. Okay, I'm glad that I didn't go straight. Okay, boom. I want Kevin to win. I've been picking with my heart with these predictions, and so I'm going to go with Kevin to win, but it's just Cody's won so many times already. And I will say, Cody has not had a bad title reign. A lot of people try to throw that out there. He has had a great title reign, but it's just I would rather see Kevin Owens with the WWE title right now, if I'm just being honest. But I feel that they put a lot of time into making Cody champion, and they want to continue it, and that will be more than likely what happens. But I want Kevin Owens to win it. So that's my thoughts on Saturday Night's Main Event. There might be some changes during the show or before the show, so we'll see what happens there. I also don't know how to really intake the quote-unquote transfer portal that's going on. I could respect it because I don't think they don't want to have a draft before WrestleMania or before, the Royal Rumble. But they do know there's some changes that need to be made. And if you've been listening to this video, a lot of what I said has just been the same feuds over and over again. So maybe with doing this, you can get some changes. Now, the thing that sucks in my mind is that if you move from SmackDown or Raw to SmackDown, kind of a smack in the face because WWE, and it's a big deal that Raw is going to be on Netflix. And so you want to be on Raw for that. And it kind of be at a smack in the face that, this move happens, this big thing happens, and then you don't really get to take part in it, when you're already on the brand. But that's kind of why there's a brand split. And I will say, I think I have enjoyed SmackDown. Ever since they've moved back to USA, I've enjoyed it a little bit more than Raw. I feel they get a lot more done in their 2 hours than Raw does in its 2 hours. Granted, Raw has a slightly bigger roster and has to accommodate, the one less hour. Granted, once we get to next year, I think both shows are going to be 3 hours. So I'll have to get some getting used to it, but interesting things happening in the world wrestling entertainment. Federation Entertainment. And I only really said Federation because Saturday Night's Main Event, trying to provide the old school throwback theme, but there's a lot to intake this Saturday. We got one more round here, and then we'll wrap this video up, so let's concentrate. Let's get a swig of water before this round starts. I'll just say that my week has felt very weird with no Grizzlies basketball till Friday, where we play the Nets. And we lost to the Nets in two. The first matchup at home was a very questionable and just silly loss, where the second one, which was away, we had a lot of injuries. We had Ja and Jaren. And I'm not going to say it's a game it's quote unquote a game we should have won. But it's just a lot was not going for us that night. Especially with Ja, because this is a game Ja had two crazy ass layups. That's one of those games you want to win, you know. And we did. So we get a bit of a chance of redeeming ourselves Friday. And if there's anything else that I just feel like there's so much going on that I forgot something, you know. Final battle next weekend. Next week, I should say. If there's anything I forgot that was of importance. You want on the ones that are like, oh yeah, that was good. I don't want this person to get that ahead of me. I'm trying to get in front of them, that way they don't potentially have something to jump on. Okay, it's me and this one person left. Try to do what I just said. I knew it. I knew it. That's why you don't freaking dive on this one, because you dive, you just jump right over. I sold. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. But that's the end of this video. So I do appreciate you all for watching this. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Because I'm out. Stay safe. Have a fun weekend, guys and girls and people that watch.